Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all doing good and ready to talk some wrestling, because today we're going deep into the newest WWE 2K25 update, patch 1.026.0, or what a lot of players are calling the John Cena update. Now, if you've been keeping up with the WWE 2K series, you know these patches can be sneaky. Sometimes they bring huge changes, and other times they just quietly set the stage for something big coming down the road. This one right here is definitely one of those that looks small on the surface, but has some pretty big implications once you start connecting the dots. So this patch, officially known as version 1.026.000, dropped on October 6th, 2025. Depending on your platform, the download size came in around 2.5 gigs on the PlayStation 5, which is not too big, but definitely not tiny either. Right away, people were curious because 2K didn't say much in their official patch notes. Like usual, they went with that classic stability and performance improvements line and then slipped in the phrase, added support for upcoming John Cena-related content. That's it. No fancy explanations, no list of gameplay changes, no mention of fixes for the Creation Suite or Universe Mode or online. Just that short statement. But if you've been around the WWE 2K community long enough, you know that when 2K says added support for upcoming content, that usually means one thing. New DLC is on the way, and the files for it are being quietly added into the game early. The moment this update hit consoles, data miners and community sleuths jumped on it. Within hours, people were posting screenshots and details from the game's internal files, and sure enough, they started finding references to new versions of John Cena, including what's believed to be his farewell tour look, a throwback Doctor of Thugonomics version from the early 2000s, and even some extra surprises like Brock Lesnar and R-Truth in a parody character slot called Ron Cena. Now, that's where things started to get fun, because fans immediately started theorizing what this DLC might actually be. With Cena's real-life farewell tour happening in WWE right now, it makes total sense that 2K would want to build a themed pack around that. It's perfect timing, right? His farewell tour has been a major storyline this year, and 2K loves to tie their game updates into real-world wrestling events. Then, just a few hours after the patch dropped, the official WWE Games Twitter account teased something. They posted an image that basically confirmed everything everyone had been guessing, a John Cena-themed pack coming to the game on October 16th. Now, the tease didn't say the words farewell tour pack out loud, but come on, the timing and the imagery make it obvious that's what it is. Fans immediately started calling it that anyway, and the community sort of adopted that name. So that's the date everyone's looking toward now, October 16th. That's when we're expecting the actual DLC to go live. So here's the thing. While the patch itself doesn't really change gameplay, it's the foundation for that upcoming content. What it does is put all the necessary assets, code, and data hooks into place so that when 2K flips the switch for the new DLC, it all works seamlessly. You can already find signs of it in the game if you look closely enough. People have noticed that in some selection screens, placeholder slots now exist for the new characters. Others found that the audio files and animations for Cena's new entrances are already in there. Basically, the game's already holding the files, but it won't let you use them until the DLC officially unlocks. This is classic 2K behavior. They've done it for years. They patch in the files early, say something vague about support for future content, and then about a week or two later, the DLC goes live. We saw it with the My Rise Superstars packs earlier in the year, with the NX Breakout pack, and now we're seeing it again here. The pattern is so obvious that most fans can predict it the moment a patch like this shows up. But let's talk about the reactions, because as always, the community had mixed feelings. On one hand, people are hyped for more John Cena content. Whether you love him or you're one of those Cena sucks old school fans, there's no denying he's a massive part of WWE history. A farewell pack for him actually makes sense. He's a once-in-a-generation superstar, and giving him multiple versions inside the game is a nice tribute to his career. Some fans are already joking that it'll be like having Cena across the eras. The Ruthless Aggression rookie, the Doctor of Thugonomics, the Peacemaker era Hollywood version, and the farewell tour veteran all in one game. For Cena fans, this is basically a dream pack. On the other hand, there's always that group of players who roll their eyes at new DLC, especially when they feel like core gameplay issues still haven't been fixed. You know the vibe, people saying, we don't need more John Cena, we need better eye, or why are they still not fixing the universe mode bugs? And honestly, that frustration is fair. A lot of people were hoping this patch would fix some of the long-standing problems with online connections, Creation Suite crashes, and some random visual glitches that have been plaguing the game since launch. Unfortunately, there's no sign that any of those things got addressed in this update. Maybe some under-the-hood optimizations happened. 2K loves to throw that performance improvements phrase around, but there's nothing tangible in the gameplay to prove it. Still, even though this update looks small, it's part of a bigger plan for the game's late-year content cycle. 2K usually spaces out its big drops, and this one is likely the setup for one of their final major DLC packs before they shift focus toward next year's title. If you think about the calendar, it makes sense. We're in October, which means we're well into the second half of the game's life cycle. They've probably got one or two more big drops planned. This John Cena pack and maybe something around Survivor Series time. And then it's quiet until the next game. What's cool is that thanks to the data mines, we might already have a sneak peek at what's actually included in the Cena pack. Based on what's floating around online, it's not just John Cena himself. Like I mentioned earlier, we've got Brock Lesnar appearing in the files, which could mean a specific match, recreation, or storyline connection, since Lesnar and Cena have had some iconic rivalries. Then there's R-Truth in that hilarious Ron Cena parody version, which sounds like the kind of lighthearted extra 2K loves to throw in. Fans are also speculating that there could be themed arenas or attires linked to Cena's major career moments, like the 2002 debut against Kurt Angle or his 2011 return to face The Rock at WrestleMania 28. All of this would make sense as part of a farewell tribute pack. Now, let's talk about how this all fits into the marketing side of things, because it's actually kind of smart from 2K's perspective. The timing of this patch and the DLC lines up perfectly with Cena's ongoing farewell storyline in real WWE programming. Every week, he's making these emotional appearances, thanking the fans, hinting at retirement, and building toward his final match. By dropping this update now, 2K is basically keeping their game tied directly to what's happening on TV. It's that perfect synergy between the in-game product and the real wrestling world, which keeps fans engaged in both. Plus, it's a great business move. Nostalgia sells, and Cena's legacy means people are going to buy this DLC even if it's just a few new models and entrances. But beyond the marketing, what's interesting is how 2K handles communication around these patches. Fans often get frustrated with how vague the patch notes are. They always say stability improvements or performance enhancements, but never tell us exactly what changed. Like, what stability? What performance? Did they fix certain crashes? Did they tweak eye logic? Did they optimize online matchmaking? None of that is ever spelled out, and that can be annoying because players want transparency. It's especially frustrating when bugs remain from older patches. Some fans have reported that since Update 1.025, they've been seeing issues with lighting or certain movesets not saving properly. If those things were fixed, 2K doesn't mention it. If they weren't, well, now players are just guessing. The truth is, though, that this patch isn't really about fixing or balancing. It's all about content prep, and that's something you can actually verify by looking at the file structure. If you look into the game data after the patch, you'll notice new chunks of assets that weren't there before. New entrance music, new Titantron videos, character models, and attire files. They're labeled in ways that match Cena's DLC naming conventions from previous games. That's why data miners were able to identify them so quickly. It's all sitting there, just waiting to be activated once the DLC officially drops. So what happens next? Well, when October 16th hits, 2K will probably release another tiny patch, sometimes just a few megabytes, that flips the switch and unlocks the Cena Farewell Pack for anyone who owns it.